Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to Alice. We are going to continue on with this today and work on our hinge. So this is a design project for Scrap and Create, and you can get all your supplies there. There's a link down below. There's a link down below to the cutting guide, and if you're just wandering in the middle, I will have a playlist. It'll be called Stamperia Alice, and you'll be able to find all the videos there. So hinge, let's get started with that. You'll find your measurements in the cutting guide, and you'll see I've got mine going. Pardon me. So one thing I wanted to point out, you'll notice at this end I have two 1-inch pieces of tape, and at this end I have a 1-inch and a 3/8, and that's just because of the way I put it in. I think I need one more piece that I forgot there. What I do when I make my hinge is I cut the 12-inch strip, and then I go however far, it's 1.5, I believe, 1.5, and then score all the way across till I get to my last score line, and whatever's left may not be the same as at the first end, but I usually leave it. So that's that. So let me just double check, because I think I need one more piece of tape here. Yes, I do. I need a piece of tape. Do I? I could, I don't know. I'm going to wait and see. I don't really need it. But let me show you what I've got. So this is the side that you will have scored. So it has divots in it, okay? And you're going to have a 3/8 inch at the beginning space. Skip that. And then you'll have 2 halves, 3/8, 2 halves, 3/8, 2 halves. By half, by 2 halves, I mean 2 half-inch spaces. All the way across. After the last 2 halves, you'll have a 3/8 and then whatever's left of the paper. So in the 1/2-inch ones, there's a 1/2-inch line, 1/2-inch. Put a piece of 1/4-inch tape on either side of that center line, on all 6 of those. Those are going to hold your pages in. Then on the other side, the side with the bumps, okay, you're going to put, you'll have your 1/2-inch pairs. Ignore everything else I've got going here, but in your 1/2-inch pairs, you want to put a piece of 3/8 inch tape in one of each of the 3/8, one each of the 1/2-inch pairs. All of this is in my video about how to make hinges, but I'm just telling you. And then you're going to have between the 1/2-inch pairs, so here's a 1/2-inch pair, here's a 1/2-inch pair, you're going to have a 3/8 inch space. Just put a 1/4-inch tape there. Okay, then at either end you're going to have 3/8 and then whatever you have left over. Okay, and I have tape in there. Now I don't have tape in the little 3/8 spaces. This one I do because it hung a little bit, but I'm not worried about that. So let us go ahead. The first thing that we're doing is get the right tool. Okay, first thing we're going to do is fold over between those 1/2-inch pairs. It's a little confusing because I have all the tape on there, but it really is easier if you can put your tape down first rather than fold it and then try to put the tape down, which is what I often do. Remove that. And once I get this folded, you'll sort of see. So I'm folding it back and lifting it up. And you will see that we now have a fin, and it's got 1/4-inch tape on either side up near the top. Okay, that's because we don't put our pages all the way to the bottom. If you put your tape all the way down there, you'll have sticky tape showing. Okay, now we're going to leave this 1/4-inch piece of tape, and actually we're going to pre-fold between the next pair. Remove the 3/8 inch tape. Fold it. Back. Up. Okay, so now we have 2 fins, and between those 2 fins we've already got tape because we pre-taped. So now fold the next pair. Sorry. grabbing the wrong tool. We have 3 of our 6 fins because we have 6 pages. We need 6 fins. Usually we do 4, maybe 5, but today we're doing 6. Okay. Four. Just folded that in the wrong place. Okay, go. And just take a few minutes to fold these back and forth, burnish them, make sure they're moving freely. Measure. Perfect. Our cover spine is 2 3/4, and that is just what we have here. Now the initial 3/8 where we didn't do any folding, that's just there to guide you in putting this into the book. Now the next step, let's take a look at this. This is going to go in here, but it's not all going to be glued down. Only the sides are, so that it can float, and that'll give you a little, it'll make it lay flat, okay? And let me turn it around. I'm not showing that I'm going to need, I was thinking I was going to need to put a patch in. I think I may put it anyway, just because it's very close, and if I put it in crooked, I might have a problem. But that's good. But let's go ahead and just do a little of that. And what I mean by a patch is just a little extra piece of rice paper. Just in case. All right, so let me do that. And I need to grab a brush. The brush that I usually use has been washed and is drying, so I'm just going to use a little one. Should be fine for this. And this is just Velo glue, but you can use Mod Podge, a matte Mod Podge should be fine. And this is almost certainly not going to show, but I would rather have an almost certainly not going to show than something show that shouldn't, if that makes sense. One. And we'll put one here. And I didn't put these down to start with because until I had that hinge made, I wasn't sure exactly how big I needed to make them. I might want to put a little there. And then on this side, I don't know. This side was wider, so I don't know. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to need one over there. That's fine. But I will put, I missed a spot right there I'm going to do. Again, these are almost certainly not going to show, but not going to all this trouble to make this book and then be annoyed at the end because I have some little bit of white showing where it shouldn't, when it would take me, and did take me, less than 5 minutes to fix it. Perfect. Okay, now we can set that aside to finish drying the new pieces. I'm gonna go wash this brush. Now the next thing we want to look at is the piping, and I pre-made mine. All you have to do to make this is get a piece of ribbon or seam binding. A wider ribbon would be easier, but I have yet to find my ribbon box over a year after I moved. I have no idea. Anyway, take your piece of ribbon or seam binding. It only needs to be twice however wide you're from fin to fin, plus these 3/8 maybe if you want, but anyway, twice that plus a little. So here's mine right here. So lay that piece down, take your Fabri-Tac. You could probably use art glitter glue if you want, but I always use Fabri-Tac. Run a bead of Fabri-Tac right down the middle of your piece. Take a piece of seam binding or cord, crochet thread, and lay it right down in that bead of glue. Then add another bead of glue right next to your cord, and then fold it over on itself like that. So you have wrapped, basically you're making piping wrapped around this. You could even buy piping. Mine's a hot mess because it's so skinny trying to use seam binding, but it's all I had. But it works fine because hardly any of it's going to show. It's going to go right along the top edge of the binding, of the hinge rather. Like that. Okay. So we're going to do that. We also need to put, because this is actually going to hold the whole way to the book and all the pages, we're going to put, excuse me, I just drew a blank, Tyvek. I buy my Tyvek in sheets from Amazon. I think I have it linked below, but if not, just search Tyvek sheets. And we are not going to cover all the way. It doesn't need to be all the way. I just need a piece that is, let's say, 3 would really do it. So 3, and this is 7 7/8, and I don't want it quite to the top, so a shy 7 7/8. That's going to be fine, and I do need to put some tape right there. I missed that spot when I was doing it before. could use a little tape right there, but I don't need a full piece. Maybe I can squeeze a 1/4 inch in there, maybe. Not quite, and I don't have any 1/8 because I hate 1/8 inch. It's just a pain. You know what I think I'll do is I'll put it on from starting on this side, and then I can just put a little glue under there if I need to. Pardon me. And actually, probably going to start in the middle to tell you the truth. Okay, so what we are going to do actually is put this down first. So you want to, you can eyeball it. Eyeball, well, first off, cut one end nice and even. And remember you made that extra little score line? So this is going to go from that score line to the other score line on the other side. And it's okay if it's a little long because you can trim it when you're doing it, but you just don't want to be short. Okay. And then we have tape, which we can use. So I am just peeling back just the, I don't know, first inch or so of tape. Okay. And I am going to take my piece, fold it in half, find the approximate center. And I'm going to place the center right there, and you can see it's just sticking out. Whoops. Find yourself in your house a hardcover book and take a look. It should have something like this on it. And then I am going to just trim when I get to that line. Put my tape back. And then I'm going to do the tape on this side. This seems fussy. It is fussy. It's kind of a pain, but it really gives you a look, you know, at your book, a polished look. Oops, it's raining. Okay. I mentioned the rain because I'm in the upstairs part of my house, and I don't have an attic. I'm right under the roof, so you could probably hear the rain. All right, and you'll notice I kind of have this curved because I want to make sure it's neat. I feel like it's too high on this side. Let's see if I can peel it up a little bit and tuck it down a little. Okay. Okay, that's better. All right, so we got one done. And again, I don't do it perfect. I do the best I can, okay? That's all you can do. It's not going to be perfect, especially when it's so narrow. If you can get a wider ribbon to do it, it will make your life easier. All right. So we're going to do the same thing again. Just peel back half, one side. I'm kind of tapering it down at the bottom, sort of dipping it down a little bit. Okay, remember it's going to be seen from the front, so maybe turn it to the front while you're doing this. Okay. guesstimating about where I want it to end and trimming it. Sorry, I probably have been off camera half this time, but it's the only way you can see it to do it. You can see them just from the front, lining it up so just the part with the cord in it is sticking up. And then when I get to the end, just kind of taper it down. Perfect. Okay, there we go. Then the next thing is going to be to attach this piece on top like that. So let's go ahead, I'm going to remove just the tape from the middle three. Kind of center this. I feel like that one's a little high. Either that or I put the tie back a little low, but it doesn't really matter. Okay. That. And then this side I put my tape a little far, so I'm just going to peel it back like that and put that down. This side. Oh, did I leave? Hang on. No, I didn't. Did I leave a tape back in there? But I did not. But I do have one here I need to get. And this one. Okay, and then it is right here, so you can turn it over and burnish it from this side. Okay, so now we have a nice smooth hinge that curves. Okay, and at this point I think I may trim it a little bit so they're even. This one's 2 1/4. This one's about 1 7/8. So I just need to take a little bit off this side, not too much. They're still not identical, but just to make them a little closer to even. All right, so now here's our book. Okay, so now comes a choice. If I had more paper, I might go in and put some pattern paper here, some pattern paper here, because this is going to lift up, you know, when it's in the book. So you're going to see this white. So what I think I might do, I'm not as concerned about it here. Somebody's really going to have to look hard to see that. Although we might put a little, I think I might put something on this, just the spine here. Maybe just some Kraft. I think that would be a good idea. But I don't want it to be taller than this piece. So let me cut a piece. This is 7 7/8. So let me cut one 7 and maybe the same size. Cut it like a 1/16 shorter. Just, and I think I need to, I cut it exactly 2 3/4 wide, but I think I'm going to take a hair off. This has absolutely no structural integrity to the book. It's strictly there so that when the spine bends away, when the hinge bends away, you won't be looking at bright white down the spine when the rest of the book is colored. You might see, I mean, you'll see white here and here, but I'm not too worried about that. So this can go in with art glitter glue because it's, so it isn't going to hold any weight. Although art glitter glue holds weight, so. if you have, like I said, if you have pattern paper, this would be a great place. You could do it. And there's that. Then, so that's going to go there. And I want to take a look. So I'm going to bend away. I mean, you can see that this is white, but you really have to look. So I'm trying to decide if I want to put a little piece of pattern paper there. But what I do want to do is get a little glue in there, because there isn't any glue right at the top because there wasn't any score tape there. And probably Fabri-Tac would be the way to go, but I'm just going to use art glitter. Oh, made a hot mess. You don't use as much glue as me. I use way too much glue. I'm just telling you that right now. In virtually every instance. I don't know why I do that, but I do. And I'm going to do the same down here. Hopefully not use overly too much glue. That's better. And I'm just going to press that down like that to get that into that glue. Okay, so question, do we want to put just a little strip of pattern paper here and here? And it won't hurt, it'll only take a minute. It'll add a little bit of, my concern is that it'll add a little bit of stiffness where I probably don't want it. So you know what, I'm gonna skip it. I'm not gonna put it there because I just don't want that stiffness. I think what I will do is just maybe a little ink, just to tone down the white in case anybody peers down the spine. I used to, years and years ago, I used to teach people how to make handmade children's clothes, like smock dresses, things like that. And people used to just get so worried about little mistakes. And I would always tell them, if somebody's looking at your child that closely, you have more to be worried about than a mistake you made on their dress. That's kind of how I feel about this. If somebody's looking down the spine of this book so closely, they're like, why is that white? They're not your friend. Okay, there we go. I'll just get rid of some of these tape backs from putting the spine together. Oops. Okay, I think that we have reached the point when we can put this in the book. So what we're going to do is take a look, decide if one of these is better than the other. Honestly, they both look about the same. Whichever one is better is going on the top for that non-friend who's looking too closely at your book. Okay, so now I need to measure. Just double check. All right, hang on. All right, so this is, measure yours because they're not going to be the same on both sides, and you know, just measure from that score line to the edge of your binding or your hinge. Mine is 1 5/8. Okay, so what I am going to do is see if I can find a pencil, and I know where my pencil is. It's in here. This giant box I keep moving because I have to pack up, what do I have to pack up? Atelier and Sleeping Beauty, because they're going to new home together, which is nice. All right. Oh, I'm just going to mark 1 5/8. Don't mark it too near the top or it'll show. Just 1 5/8. And then I'm going to join those in a line. Again, we are not going to, whoops, well, it would help if I had that ruler in the right place. Okay. just want to see if that's coming out where I want it to be, and it really isn't, so I'm going to shift it a little bit. I want this line to be right on the edge of the spine. That's actually better. I don't know if I measured wrong or what, but I definitely did not put it in the right place. Oh, I know what I did. Duh. Okay, hang on. Let me just draw this line. I put it from the outside line. I should have put it from the inside line. That's why I got my line in the wrong place. Anyway, it's just to give us a vertical to get that first bit down. And then remember, you're going to center it top to bottom. So just get a, put it in there, get a visual of about where that is. Looks pretty good. And then we're going to pull back the tape. And now we've just got the edge down. Let me just move all this stuff so you can see. Okay, hang on. Okay, hang on. So I'm holding it up, okay? I'm holding it along that line, and I'm just getting an idea if it's about right top to bottom. And I feel like that's actually pretty good right there. Make sure it's on the line. Yeah, I'm happy. Okay. And then there's no adhesive here, remember, because it's going to float. So you just need to go to the other side and just let it go down. Don't stretch it or anything. Just let it sort of fall naturally and put the other side down. Okay. And then, let's see how it looks. Might need a little training to get it to come up nicely. That looks pretty good. Said you might need to get your fingers in there and sort of get it trained the way you want it. After the pages are in, it'll help. Speaking of, okay, we could do that, but first we probably want to put something. We haven't done these inside covers yet. We could still put the pages in though. What I'm thinking I'm going to do is a stacked pocket on the back, like 2, maybe even 3 pockets stacked on the back. I don't know yet on the front. I'm just going for it. I know I'm going to run out of pattern paper, so I'm going to just go with what I've got, and when I run out, I run out. And you'll see, let me start again. I'll be able to do enough that you'll see what you need to do, but I may not be able to do like all the inserts and things. Okay, so here's our pages, and I like to start from the back. These should be operative word. Relative, I have nowhere to put these down. Hang on, let me get these. They should be relatively easy to put in because they have dates on them. If my dates are out of order, then I will know that I have put them in the wrong spot. You know what though, before I do anything else, yes, let's make sure the book is right side up. That would be a thought. And we probably want to do a test fit as well. Looks good. Okay. You want to put these on and stop about a 1/16 or even an 1/8 of an inch from the bottom. Do not put these all the way to the bottom. A couple of times I've forgotten to take the tape off one side, and I've had people ask me. But what happens is when I edit the video, I see that I didn't take it off, and then I take it off. Okay, so that's November and December. And this is October, September. Okay, so this is going to go like that. And test fit. Looking good. I have to tell you people, I am very happy with how this one's coming out. Well, this is going to be a hard one to let go, but it's definitely can't stay with me. I just don't have enough room left. I have a whole box of books that I have not even unpacked from when I moved, that I have got to unpack and decide what I'm keeping and what's going. And then since I moved, I hung up, how many are there? Just two big shelves, but they're full. Okay, here we go. Did I get them both? Yes. All right. And then that is September. This is August. I'm going to put this one from this side. The reason is my pages are just slightly uneven because my paper trimmer doesn't trim evenly. I want to make sure the shorter or the longer side doesn't get put down too far. It's a little tricky with so many pages. Okay, there we go. July. Okay. June. That's May. That's June. So far, so good. It's still a little sticky, I think, though, because well, it's been a whole video for you. It's only a few minutes after I actually put this rice paper on this cover, so it's not 100% dry. Okay, May. April. Here we go. I think I'm going to turn this. Which side is longer? This one. Okay. Just to make things a little easier with so many pages. And then we have January and February. Let's do test fit. Oops, I feel like I do. Hang on. I've got a little corner of matte coming up here. I could have fixed it after, but there we go. Okay. Just checking the time I have to get to the post office and get those books off. It's definitely still a little tacky. Okay. That looks so good. All right. So the reason I'm thinking stacked pockets back here is there really aren't any pockets to just put something in. So that'll give us that. And then here, I don't know. Maybe just a big mat. That's kind of what I like to do with the inside front covers more often than not. And then as far as a closure goes, I think what my plan has been, and again, you just play with this as you go along just to get it sort of trained as to how it should go, but it looks good. I'm just going to tuck something under here, maybe even this because it goes beautifully, to be the ribbon closure. And then on the back I will put a fussy cut or something to hold the ribbon there because I don't have any mat to put it under. I'll have some mats or something on the front to put it under, but on the back I don't. So that's how I'm going to do that. Okay, I'm going to stand this up on edge so that it can dry. And how long have I been recording? 45 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to leave this to dry. I will be back in just a few seconds for you, and we'll go ahead and do whatever we're going to do on the inside, front, and back cover. Okay, so I will be right back. All right, let's do the inside covers, and I have picked out things. So I am going to put these teapots right here, and then I have this square cut apart that I think I'm going to put on top, just as a little extra added interest. Oops. And what I've decided I'm going to do is, I know I don't have enough of the collections I started with to do all the inserts and things, and that's really all I have left of the inserts. Well, we have to decorate the cover, but other than that, so I do actually have in my stash more of the Wonderland version, and I was kind of not wanting to use it. I would rather use the Looking Glass version, and I recommend that's what you use, but if I have to, I will dig into that. But what I would say is, when you're placing your order to make this, and I will have already said this, I'm sure, in the flip through, the walkthrough, but get either 2 of the 22 sheet and 1 of the 12 by 12.
Trouble with the connection. Please try again in a moment.
It's Alexa. I don't know why she's talking. But anyway, either 2 of the 22 and 1 of the 12 by 12, or 2 of the 12 by 12 and the 1 of the 22 plus the 2 8x8s is the way I would go, just to be sure that you have enough, unless you already have some of the Wonderland in your stash and you're just adding the extra pieces. But that's how I would do it. It's a big album with a lot of pages. So, and then this piece here, I'm trying to decide. I think I will put it down, just gluing on 3 sides. I'm just re-inking this because it doesn't look quite inked enough. So it can be a pocket. I don't intend to put anything in it, but just in case, there's no reason not to. Center that, give or take. Let's try and put that a little straighter, shall we? Okay, there. All right, that's the inside front cover. Now the inside back cover, I mentioned to you that we are going to do stacked pockets. And these will be in the cutting guide, the sizes. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they're 7 5/8 by 3 1/2 and by 4 1/2. Actually, I'll do that. And then I'm going to use this as the liner. So let me just set that aside. And I'm going to mat this one, which I've already inked. This is from the cover of one of the 8 by 8s. And what did I do? There it is. Right, and this is going to go on top of this one. Fits just fine. Probably should have checked it for fit first. Go. I just got back from the post office. I have Sleeping Beauty and Atelier des Arts are both on their way to their new home. If you are the kind of person who purchased them and you know who you are, thank you so much. Tilt that a little bit. And honestly, I'm sorry for those of you who do live overseas who are buying my books, and many of you have, that the shipping is just so expensive. I don't know why it's so expensive, so I'm sorry about that. Okay. And I haven't done any pockets. I haven't needed my pocket rulers, which is just a little flexible metal ruler, but it helps get in there and burnish. Okay, and then I have this piece to mat here, like that. And this is just off a scrap that I fortunately had, just because I think it's going to look terrific. I'm just wondering, I've got those spades picked out to be the liner for this if I want something different. But I don't know if the issue is just me. They kind of make my eyes go batty, but then again, my eyes are really bad, so maybe it is just me. Let's put this down and see. I might pick something else out. I just felt like I hadn't used them and they might work. Sorry, I opened that and now you can't see anything. this is going to go here. And this was what I had picked for inside. It does actually, no, only right side up. I mean, it does actually look pretty good. I'm going to go with it. Okay, so let me put this down first so I know what size to cut that. It should be close to what's on the front cover, except it has to fit in this pocket, so. Okay, and I'm going to put this pretty close to the outside edge, up just a hair from the bottom, in just a hair from the side. And I think I'm going to go through and add narrow pieces between the pages as well. I just think that is a nice look. Gives it a polished finish. Okay. There's that. Okay. So this. Help if I did it this way. 6.5. Just want to make sure that I think that'll be all right. Okay, so 6.5 by 5.5. Okay, and I cut this a little bit wide because I'd rather have it too wide than too skinny. That's good. So I cut it just a hair over 6.5, and that's fine. It fits. That's fine. Okay. And you really don't need much of any glue down here near the bottom where it's going in the pocket. I'll put a tiny bit, but you really don't need it, but I do it anyway. There. All right. I'm just panicking. Did I put it upside down? I didn't. It's right side up. Except for those little narrow bits. All right, so I am going to stop here. Love that. Okay, I'm going to stop here because even though I don't have too much left, well, do I need to stop? Yeah, because, well, I don't know. How long have we been going? I hate to make you watch a whole other video just for some inserts, but I don't know how long the cover is going to take. So I am going to stop here. And then next time we will do whatever we're going to do to the cover, and I will do all the inserts. I may do all those off camera and just show you how to make them, just to save time. So the next one won't be, I hope, too long. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to visit Scrap and Crate to get your supplies. And there's a link down below for the cutting guide for this project, and various other links for products that I use, discount for this mat, etc., etc., etc. So I will see you next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.